Good morning everyone. Today's point of discussion is electrochemistry. Now, electrochemistry is a very important branch of physical chemistry. Now, electrochemistry deals number of things. So, first of all, what happened? Volta examined that a non-spontaneous reaction means the reaction which failed to take or proceed on its own. So, non-spontaneous reaction can be made to occur by passing electricity, number one. Secondly, a very slow chemical reaction can be made fast by passing electric current, that is up to number two. And it is found that a very fast chemical reaction is capable of producing electricity if conducted in a proper device. So, from these conclusions, we must say that there is something, there is a relation between electric current and chemical reaction. So, this interrelationship is studied in this very important branch. So, what is electrochemistry? Electrochemistry deals with relationship between electricity or electrical energy and chemical reaction, or one can say chemical energy. So, these things are discussed right here. Secondly, most importantly, so solutions, especially of electrolyte, are capable of conducting electricity. Now, no doubt, some substances conduct electricity up to large extent in its dissolved state, whereas some substances conduct feebly. Now, those substances which conduct electricity up to greater extent in its dissolved state are said to have less resistance, and substances which conduct slowly or up to less extent electricity, it means that the resistance is greater in that solution. Now, electrochemistry deals with such type of properties. Properties like resistance and conductance of solution are discussed in this area, in electrochemistry. Now, most importantly, from conductivity of solution, suppose any substance is dissolved in water, and on dissolution, the solution so obtained tend to conduct electricity. Now, if two different substances, two different electrolytes are dissolved to prepare two different solutions, though those solutions have same concentration, but not necessarily the conductivity of those two remain same. Why? So, reason behind that is the extent of ionization. Thus, solution which conduct electricity up to large scale or greater extent supposed to have greater number of ions. It means that electrolyte must undergo ionization up to large scale. So, it conducts electricity in a large scale. On other hand, the substances which dissociate feebly or in small scale produce less number of ions, thus conduct electricity in feeble manner. So, these things are also discussed right here. So, what from conductivity, extent of ionization and movement of ions are discussed in the subject of electrochemistry. Another big thing, electrochemical cells, batteries. We do use the cells like dry cell, lead accumulator for our daily need. So these cells are the electrochemical cells, and the dry cells do produce electricity on account of the spontaneous chemical reaction taking place inside that cell. Storage cell like lead accumulator, that works on the same basis. I mean, previously electricity is stored in those devices, and we do use that stored current. So these type of cells, I mean construction, working and mechanism of working up such type of cells, batteries are discussed in electrochemistry. So it deals with, I mean electrochemistry deals with electrochemical cells and batteries which have vital importance in our day-to-day life. Number of chemicals, I mean number of important chemicals which we use as a laboratory reagent are prepared using the electricity. For example, NaOH is prepared by electrolyzing aqueous solution of NaCl, that is brine. So if aqueous solution of NaCl is electrolyzed, then on account of which we may receive NaOH. Thus, it is the commercial method of preparation of NaOH which is important laboratory reagent. So, in preparation of NaOH from aqueous solution of NaCl, this science, I mean electrochemistry, does the great deal of work. Another big thing is production of fluorine. Remember, only way to prepare fluorine is to electrolyze Fremi's salt, that is KHF2. So by electrolysis of KHF2, that is Fremi's salt, one can produce fluorine up to large scale. So number of devices on account of this, I mean electrolysis, have been constructed. So previously Dennis method, now most advanced Whitela-Gray method for that. So Whitela-Gray electrolytic cell work on this basis. I mean, we need to electrolyze Fremi's salt in order to get fluorine. So preparation of fluorine from Fremi's salt is also a part of the discussion, and that topic is discussed right here in electrochemistry. I mean electrochemistry answers the whole things. Now another very important thing is electro-refining and electroplating. Electro-refining and electroplating of metals is the very crucial thing to do, and these things are also deal by the electrochemistry itself. Another very important thing, fuel cell. So in future, remember, fuel cells are going to be the device which may fulfill all the necessary requirement for the electricity for us, and fuel cells are going to be a crucial and vital device in future. So study of fuel cells are included in the subject of electrochemistry. So electrochemistry is a wide and very vital and important branch of physical chemistry. So now very important thing, this was the up to introduction related to electrochemistry. Now the cells or batteries, so what is the basis of the electrochemistry. So most important thing is the redox reaction. Remember, redox reaction. First of all, oxidation. So remember, oxidation is a reaction in which loss of electrons takes place. And remember, due to loss of electrons, oxidation number of the resulting species seems to get increased. And on other hand, reduction is the reverse process. So reduction in simple manner is the gain of electrons. Gain of electrons. And remember, the species undergoing reduction will have the decreased oxidation number. And remember, if oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, then that reaction is said to be a redox reaction. Now consider, for example, SnCl2 aqueous plus FeCl3 aqueous gives SnCl4 aqueous plus FeCl2 aqueous. Now in this reaction, Sn, that is tin, is in +2 state, whereas iron is in +3 state. On other hand, now tin from +2 it get converted into +4, and oxidation state of iron right here is +2. Now what is happening in this reaction actually? So tin, previously it was in +2 state, it undergo oxidation producing SnCl4, in which the oxidation number of tin is +4. So increased oxidation number of tin suggests that the tin is undergoing oxidation. On other hand, if it is undergoing oxidation, it means it is acting as a reducing agent. Look what is happening right here. In FeCl3, iron is in +3 state. On other hand, in FeCl2, iron is in +2 state. What is the conclusion behind this? From +3, it get converted into +2. It means there is a decrease in oxidation number of iron, and this suggests the process of reduction. So as far as this reaction is concerned, oxidation and reduction, both the things are happening in a same reaction. That's why it is one of the finest examples of redox reaction. And remember, in cells or batteries, redox reactions are key. I mean, are the source of the formation or production of electricity. Now another very important thing to be discussed is the conduction in electrolytic solution. Conduction in electrolytic solution. Now remember, solution is said to be conductor when it conduct electricity. If at all we pass certain electric current through any solution, and that solution manages to conduct that passed electricity, then that solution is said to be a good conductor. Now on the basis of mode of conductor, I mean mechanism of conduction of electricity, conductors may be categorized into two varieties. First of all, electronic conductors. Now electronic conductors involve metals in solid state and metals in molten state as well. So metals tend to conduct electricity, and during the course of conduction only movement of electron can be seen, can be observed. When we apply external potential across the two ends of the wire, conducting metallic wire, then that wire tend to conduct electricity. So during the course of conduction of electricity, electrons move from one end to another. Point to be noted is no material get transferred. Only movement of electron can be seen. And molten metals and metals in solid state are finest examples of this variety. And second type is electrolytic conductors. Now electrolytic conductors are those which in dissolved state or fused state tend to conduct electricity. For example, salts, ionic salts, strong and weak acids and bases. When we do prepare aqueous solution of these sort of substances and pass electric current through the resulting solution, then the solutions of the mentioned substances are capable of conducting electricity. Now during the course of conduction of electricity, what happens? Actually there is a movement of the material. It means that on passing electricity, current gets conducted by the resulting substance in their aqueous solutions or in molten state or fused state. So there is a certain chemical change, I mean transfer of matter takes place from one part of the solution to other part. Now on the basis of conductivity, we earlier mentioned one thing. If we prepare two different solutions of two different electrolyte but with same concentration, not necessarily those two solutions may have same conductivity. So what is the reason behind that? The reason behind that thing is the extent of ionization. And remember, electrical conductivity of any solution depends on the number of ions present in that solution. In fact, it is directly proportional to that number. I mean, greater the number of ions in the solution, greater will be the conductivity. So on that basis, on the basis of conductivity, electrolytes may be classified into two types. So substance which conduct electricity in dissolved state is said to be electrolyte. So on the basis of conductivity, electrolyte can be weak. So first of all, weak electrolytes. Remember, weak electrolytes are those substances which dissociate in feeble manner when dissolved in water. For example, weak acid like acetic acid, when it is dissolved in water, it no doubt dissociate into ions, but extent of dissociation is much lesser, due to which solution may contain less number of ions which record the low conductivity. On other hand, weak bases like NH4OH, so these bases, weak bases do undergo ionization in feeble manner, producing less number of ions, so record lesser conductivity or lower conductivity. On other hand, strong electrolytes. Remember, strong electrolytes are the substances which dissociate in greater extent, producing large number of ions. And remember, greater the number of ions, greater will be the extent of conductivity. So strong acids like HCl, which dissociate completely into ions. Strong bases like NaOH, which too dissociate completely, producing number of ions. So these substances are found to be the strong electrolytes. Another very important thing, electrochemistry again plays very important role in the extraction of highly reactive metals. Remember, metals like sodium, potassium, I mean alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, metal like aluminium are extracted from their molten salts by passing electricity. I mean, electrometallurgical operations are needed to be executed in order to extract reactive metals. So that's why electrochemistry has a great deal of discussion. So it was the introductory part of the electrochemistry. Thank you very much.